Hello and good day everyone. My name is Sir Marcy and our lesson today is all about the illustration of quadratic equation. What is quadratic equation? A quadratic equation in one variable is a mathematical sentence of degree 2 that can be written in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a is not equal to 0. Ax squared is called the quadratic term. It is the term containing x squared. Bx is called the linear term. It is the term containing x. C is called the constant term, and that is the term without variable. Take note also of the word degree. It is the highest exponent the variable has in an equation. So here, the highest degree we have here is 2. I have here examples of quadratic and not quadratic equation. Example number 1. X squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0 is an example of quadratic equation in standard form. Example number 2. 25 minus s squared is equal to 4s is an example of quadratic equation. However, it is not written in standard form. Example number 3. The quantity of x plus 4 raised to the second power is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation, but it is not written in standard form. By applying the square of a binomial, the equation becomes x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0, which is in standard form. Example number 4. 2x times x minus 2 is equal to 6 becomes 2x squared minus 4x is equal to 6. By applying distributive property makes the equation quadratic, not in standard form. Example number 5. The quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 1 is equal to 0 is actually a quadratic equation in factored form. By expanding the product, the equation becomes x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, which is in standard form. Example number 6. We have 3x plus 6 is equal to 9 is not a quadratic equation since the degree is 1. Example number 7. 14 minus 2x squared y is equal to 0 is also not a quadratic equation since there are two variables, x and y, and also the degree is 3 by adding the exponents of x and y. Example number 8. 3k squared minus 5k cubed is equal to 12 is not quadratic because the degree is 3. Example number 9. 3m squared plus 6m plus 9 is equal to 3m squared. By combining similar terms, the result is 6m plus 9. Therefore, the equation is not quadratic. Lastly, example number 10. 2x times the quantity x plus 3 times x minus 1 is equal to 0. By multiplying 2x times x gives us a product of 2x cubed. Therefore, the equation is not quadratic. Now it's your turn. I will give you 20 seconds and I want you to identify if the given equation are quadratic or not. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Okay, time's up. And here are the answers. Okay, let's proceed with the standard form of quadratic equation. The standard form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. I have here examples of quadratic equation in standard form. So we're going to determine the values of a, b, and c. So example number 1. I have 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, the value of a here is equal to positive 2. The value of b is equal to positive 5. And the value of c, our constant term, is equal to negative 3. So don't forget to include the sign. So in our example number 1, negative 3 is the value of c. And we don't need to write the positive sign in a and b. So let's have example number 2. I have here x squared minus 6x minus 7 is equal to 0. So our value for a here is equal to 1. So if you cannot see any number besides the term or the literal coefficient, meaning to say there is an invisible 1 as numerical coefficient. B is equal to negative 6 and C is equal to negative 7. Okay, example number 3. Our given is negative x squared plus 4x minus 10 is equal to 0. So our A here is now negative 1. Our B is equal to positive 4. And our C is equal to negative 10. Okay, our last example, we have negative x squared plus 12x minus 27 is equal to 0. So A is equal to, we have negative 3. B is equal to, we have positive 12. And C is equal to negative 27. A quadratic equation lacking the linear term, the constant term, or both is called incomplete quadratics. It can be in the form ax squared plus bx is equal to 0, where the constant term c is missing. It can also be in the form ax squared plus c is equal to 0, where the linear term bx is missing. I have here examples of incomplete quadratic equation in standard form. We're going to determine the values of a, b, and c. Example number 1. The given is 2x squared minus 8x is equal to 0. This is in the form of ax squared plus bx is equal to 0. The value of a here is equal to positive 2. The value of b here is equal to negative 8. And the value of c is equal to 0 since the constant term is missing. Example number 2. We have r squared r squared plus 16r is equal to 0. The value of a here is equal to 1. Remember, there is an invisible 1 here. And the value of b is equal to positive 16. C is equal to 0. Example number 3. The given is 3m squared minus 12 is equal to 0. This is in the form of ax squared plus c is equal to 0. So the value of a here is equal to positive 3. The value of our b is equal to 0 since the linear term is missing. The value of c here is equal to negative 12. Example number 4. The given is p squared plus 27 is equal to 0. The value of a here is equal to positive 1. Again, there is an invisible 1 here. The value of b is equal to 0 and the value of c is equal to positive 27. There are some quadratic equations not written in standard form. It can be a quadratic equation in factored form. Let's say we're going to write the following equation in standard form: ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then we're going to identify the values of a, b, and c. Suppose the equation is the quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 5 is equal to 0. In order for us to expand this, we're going to apply FOIL method. F stands for the first term, O stands for the outer term, I stands for the inner term, and L stands for the last term. So the first term here, we have x times x. X times x, the product is x squared. The outer term is x times positive 5. The product is positive 5x. We have 3 times x, that is our inner term. The product is positive 3x. And lastly, our last term, we have 3 times 5. The product is positive 15. Then we simplify. Bring down x squared. Now in adding similar terms, since they're all positive, we're going to copy the sign and then we'll proceed with addition. So 5 plus 3, we have 8. Then bring down x plus 15 is equal to 0. So therefore, the expanded form of the equation is x squared plus 8x plus 15 is equal to 0 is now in standard form. And then, we can now identify the values of a, b, and c. So the value of a here is 1. Again, there is an invisible 1 here. B is equal to positive 8. That is positive 8. And c is equal to positive 15. Okay, let's proceed with example number 2. So, suppose we are going to again write this equation in standard form and identify the values of a, b, and c. So, our first term is 2x times x. The product is 2x squared. The outer term is 2x times 2. Product is positive 4x. Next is the inner term, 1 times x. The product is positive 1x. And the last term is 1 times 2. The product is positive 2. So we simplify. We have 2x squared plus, since again, they're both positive, we're going to copy the sign and then we'll add 4 plus 1, that is now 5, bring down x. Then bring down 2 is equal to 0. So this is now the product or the expanded form of the equation. Then the value of a is equal to positive 2. The value of b is positive 5. And the value of c is positive. Let's proceed with example number 3. Suppose we are going to set the equation to standard form and identify the values of a, b, and c. We're going to apply again FOIL method. So the first term here, we have x times x. The product is x squared. Next, the outer term, we have x times negative 7. The product is negative 7x. Next, negative 3 times x, which is the inner term. The product is negative 3x. And lastly, the last term, negative 3 times negative 7. The product is positive 20. So simplifying this equation, we'll have x squared negative 10x plus 21 is equal to 0. We have the value for a, which is equal to 1. Again, there is an invisible 1 here. B is equal to negative 10. And C is equal to positive 21. Example number 4. Again, we're going to set this equation to standard form by applying FOIL method. So we have x times x, the product is x squared. Next outer term, x plus 3 with positive 3x. Next inner term, negative 8 times x, that is negative 8x. And lastly, the last term, negative 8 times positive 3, we have negative. Then we simplify. Bring down x squared. If the numbers you are adding have different signs, subtract the smaller number from the larger number, then determine which number is larger. So in this case, since they are unlike sign, we're going to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, and that is 5x. Since the larger number is negative, so therefore we have negative 5. Bring down negative 24 is equal to 0. So the value of A here is 1. The value of B is negative 5. And the value of C is negative 24.